and the barometric pressure was 30.40 inches or 1,029.4 millibars and rising. Now for some observations from the surrounding area. At BWI Airport, sunny skies.
What is a cooling
temperature
degree
28.
day and a heating degree
Winds
day?
northwest at 9 miles an hour, producing a wind chill of 19. At Charlottesville, fair skies. 28. At Dulles Airport, sunny. Temperature 26 degrees. Winds northwest at 12 miles an hour, producing a wind chill of 16. At Fredericksburg, fair. Temperature 28. At Martinsburg, fair skies. 24. Winds west at 10 miles an hour. At Norfolk, fair. Temperature 32 degrees. At Ocean City, fair skies. It was 27 degrees.
You're yelling out the window, guys.
At Patuxent River Naval Air Station,
am I still on quarantine?
it was fair. Visibility 10 miles. Wind was northwest at 12 miles an hour. And the pressure was 30.3 inches and rising. At Quantico, fair skies. Temperature 28. Winds calm. For Richmond, fair skies. It was 27. At Roanoke, fair. Temperature 27 degrees. At Winchester, fair. Temperature 23. At New York, fair skies. 8. At Philadelphia, fair skies.
The streets
25.
of Philadelphia. That's the warp drive. That's the warp core. That's the Enterprise warp core. From the nickname of the pirate ship up, staring, put something to your neck and test your hearing, make it dead. It's good.
Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. I love the rain when it falls, yeah, I'm blessed. Of the fame and the cars and the jets. I had them thinking I was gone to the psych ward. I never let them live the life you would die for. I thought I can't save her, I'm no lifeguard. Maybe you can get the deed, but I might charge. Pull up to the spot, they're like, who is that there? Hands up, give me the loot like a cashier. What you thought, are you dumb? I don't play shit. I killed you and your brother with the same clip. All that bullshit you've been talking, boys, ain't you? I'm a different man now, leave your faces. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Watch you said it, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest.
Welcome to Mi'kmaq Matters. Welcome to Mi'kmaq Matter.
I've been acting all day, trying to find a way to get about it is. I know that shit don't last long, either I be dead and gone or them cups are on my wrist. And I'm just here trying to leave, trying to get up off the streets, and they took my boy from me. I'm out here lonely on the block, cause my homies on lock, this ain't how it's supposed to be. Niggas know it's savage. When push on the show, we gotta have it. And don't say you heard of all that thing that spits rapping. Niggas won't hesitate to put his face on the pamphlet. The hustle's backed up. My hustle been doing backflips. SKs that fold out. Hollows been constant show outs. Rolling with Michelle. Been trapping out of a full house. My family matters like Urkel though. We like herbivore. I never heard of y'all. Bullets, they could've murked me, bro. I'm behind that glass till my black nine shatters. Cause emotion in your life, just like Black Lives Matter. I always knew that dreaming came easily, but now I'm having dreams that niggas keep putting heat to me. So I had to take the snub out the box, it was empty. So I had to take the slugs out the socks, FOTG. Niggas know the clan that I fuck with, believe me. It ain't nothing I start dumping. My strap cost 3 bands, shoot like I got 3 hands. Niggas know the deal when we pull up in like 3 bands. A voodoo man tryna shoot me, watch your heat jam, then beat the whole clip up my bullets, they got an
I've been trapping all day, trying to find a way to get about it. I know that shit don't last long, either I be dead and gone or them cups are on my wrist. And I'm just here trying to lead, trying to get up off the streets, and they took my boy from me. I'm out here lonely on the block, cause my homies on lock, this ain't how it's supposed to be. I've been trapping all day, trapping all day, trapping all goddamn day, man. I'm just trapping all day, trapping all day, trapping all goddamn day, man. I'm just trapping all day, trapping all day, trapping all goddamn day, man. I'm just trapping all day, fucking trapping all day, trapping all goddamn day. Done.
Penitentiary chances or a casket laid out. Them the only 2 ways the shit plays out. Picket fence foreign shit is wicked in the king's house. Gorillas in the cell picking they braids out. My nigga lock gun, and so is young too. So is fresh and Mars. Tell me who I'm supposed to run to when I'm in need of a shoulder. When I'm trying to be righteous, but the street life making me colder. Took the white Pyrex nights, baked it in soda. Goons pop like you shaking the cola. Wasted the sober when the words out the sign. No escaping the rollers. No room for error here. It's one mistake and it's over. But I'm trying to do this rap. That's my word, cuz. Stuck between a dream and these fiends. I gotta serve drugs. 2 options, pick one, the choice is on you. Make sure it ain't the wrong move, it's grand. Arab prophets like cowboys, the French like Indians, and royalty like Englishmen. Christians still reading our Corinthians. Red still murders on the Islington. Every day's an incident. Try to talk to niggas, they ain't listening like Soviet. To catch the places they was looking, but they don't see it. You see it. Sister hope that we pushing in that collegiate. Niggas wore purple like Cameron, I really mean it. Told me I'm a genius. The way I tell these stories like I seen this. I add the hurrah, so the realest for the Libras. Fuck your horoscope, I got a horoscope. Put it on the top of the rifle with that Ferrari provoke. Never knew niggas was singing till they hit high notes. Wasn't playing ball or 9 to 5, suspicion dope. Catch me in the trap house in a minute, I catch up. Sipping on Guinnesses, Heineken's, and trying
I've been trapping all day, trying to find a way to forget about it. I know that shit don't last long, either I be dead and gone or them cups are on my wrist. And I'm just here trying to leave, trying to get up off the streets, and they took my boy from me. I'm out here lonely on the block, cause my homies on lock, this ain't how it's supposed to be. I've been trapping all day, trying to find a way to get about it. I know that shit don't last long, either I be dead and gone or them cups are on my wrist. And I'm just here trying to leave, trying to get up off the streets, and they took my boy from me. I'm out here lonely on the block, cause my homies on lock, this ain't how it's supposed to be. I've been trapping all day, trapping all day, trapping all goddamn day, man, I'm just...
Now I'm about to put y'all with some new... Round everybody up! Twisted Blaze, the ROC. I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened it and read it. It said they was bitches. One of these 7. Legs chiming, anybody killer. Dope Dublin ICP. A letter to the somebody call 911. The gang banging at the mall. A kid 14 and his boys from Omaha. Oh Lord, oh my God, he's on a skateboard. FBI guy in a tree. Spying on a jungle cliff for 8 months undercover. Ain't got nothing. Straight post racing everybody's goddamn time. Running cause you some mobile. Beating cops, clubs, and funny shit. Headed and nerdy. Like it ain't even funny.
That's why I don't wake you up.
It's like bees to honey. Calling the juggalo gangbanger, outrageous, pulling ninjas over, whipping out gauges, and the judge slams down the hammers to the big house. Now for you, gangbanger, if we let this be, we'll be face to face with one man as he dictates the human race. We got a line of coming at a zooming pace, kick you when you down, boots, two to the face. We don't need that, so don't give in now. Fuck the FBI, it's how
those aren't real phone numbers, though. I was like, obviously it's a phone call, right?
Tell me why you want me in a coffin, sir. Is it because I wear my...
It's not like later on today I'm gonna have like 6 people go, what the hell's wrong with you? We all tried calling you and we just got weird music. That's something happens.
Thugs out here peddling drugs, but let me tell you,
We are the must be thugs. Yes, so we are peddling drugs, so what? Y'all gonna catch some fucking slugs. Moving straight past the sign on the dead end. Oh, it's too harsh. That one's too harsh, man.
It's a throwback. Yeah. Blue pack. Now when mad chop, watch people mad chop. I swear to God, I should be dead from all the pills I took, but I'll be okay. Raise your hands if you're going insane. If you're feeling so depressed, you wanna blow out your brains, and you've been to darker places you won't try to explain, but still you try to keep them moving, and we're probably the same. We used to get high like trucks on lift kits. Then I woke up and I said, fuck this shit. I made a promise to myself, mad rip shit. Slide to your verse like a Tokyo trip kid. Being at the doctor's office.
$10 thanks to longer loan periods. With the Road Ready Report, I'm Tim DeMoss. 680 News Time, 9:49. An inspiring story from out west where a man rode a bicycle from Saskatoon all the way to Vancouver to help fight our country's overdose crisis. We get the story from David Zura of City News.
I'm here now. It's really easy to think about, oh yeah, it was pretty easy, but I know there are so many moments where I'm just like, wow, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
He says he got his big push by meeting and talking with homeless people in a number of communities.
You start to see how real it is. And so I think to me, it's just a matter of empathy.
And he spoke 4.5 minutes before that.
Now, Elijah had hoped to raise $10,000, but instead has collected
well over $23. No, all they want is that last 4 seconds.
An advocacy and outreach group founded by 3 women who lost their sons to the opioid crisis. David Zura, City News. This is 680 News. Stateside,
I've heard a woman scream when she finds out her son was overdosed on heroin. He wasn't a heroin user. Yeah, that's a nice little setup.
Tells us the Army is investigating just exactly how this all happened. The Army soldiers drank something during a training exercise on Thursday, says Fort Bliss, Texas spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Allie Payne.
Initial reports indicate the soldiers consumed this substance, thinking they were drinking an alcoholic beverage.
But actually, according to tests,
initial laboratory assessments indicate the soldiers are experiencing ethylene glycol poisoning.
That's antifreeze. A statement from the base says it's investigating, and in its words, the soldiers drank something, quote, acquired outside of authorized food supply distribution channels. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News. In 60 seconds, we'll check on your drive with Carly
in English, in the language, that's how the dog thinks on that Sergeant Preston show. Outside of authorized food distribution channels.
City TV, allow us to introduce you to your brand new bachelor.
Authorized, outside of authorized food distribution channels. You're not in Toronto, obviously. I don't know where that. What the fuck just happened? Oh no, I have to look. No, I have to look. Do it again, dog. Holy fuck! What is going on here? Hey, did you know a dump truck is just as wide as a Honda Civic is long? Holy fuck. Oh, there won't be nothing but that.
Conditions apply. Visit journals for chief.
If he does ultimately pay you less, I would think for that, if you want to keep your job, probably a claim with the Ministry of Labor. If it upsets you enough that you want to leave your job with severance, I can help you with that as well.
Okay, all right. So
thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. I think I cut him off, but I'm sure he'll
Okay, so in my mind, just bounce these two concepts. Over 400 years of slavery, we got radio shows, how to deal with your boss. This guy's going to be the go-between lawyer guy of employment law between you and the ministry and your. In Britain, they would have called this person a master. We call him a boss.
Feeling that a lot of employers have that, well, I'm the boss. This is my job. You know, I decide how to pay, what to do. Well, no. You don't decide. I don't decide, by the way. The law takes care of that. So you have to follow the law. You don't get to be a cowboy and decide, well, I'm the boss, I'm deciding. No, it doesn't work that way. It's not because I don't want to, or it's not an opinion. You have to comply with the law. And not knowing what the law is no excuse. It's not that difficult to make a call and get yourself informed about your obligations as an employer. We talk often on this show about the rights of employees. But an employer can also pick up the phone and ask, hey, can I do this? Right. I want to do something. Am I allowed to? I don't want to break any laws. I don't want to face, a legal action against me. Too many employers don't do that. They make assumptions about what they can do, and that's when they get into trouble.
They can get away with.
Another question you often get, phone, email, otherwise, Leor, can my employer make me come back to work, but contrary to my doctor's opinion?
I get that often. And in fact, we had a caller today saying that her employer is trying to put pressure on her to come back to work even though she's injured. So the answer, as I said to that caller, is absolutely not. No. Your doctor is the only one that gets to decide if you can work. Judge,
it ain't
jury,
1890s no more.
So if your doctor says, no, you cannot work or should not work, and here's a note for your employer that says that, that's it. That's the end of the discussion. That's the end of the analysis. They have to allow you to be home, whether it's for a day, for a week, or for a year, if that's what's required. Your employer's obligation is, of course, to make sure that they don't put pressure on you, that they don't threaten you, and if you need accommodation, you can come back to work. But like a previous caller, I can only come back to work on a part-time basis because of the fact that I have an injury. Well,
remember, the Jamaican Domestic Service Program only existed because of the black loyalists. Yeah, we burned down the White House.
Again, you can sometimes retape it. When I'm doing ceilings, what I like to do, especially if they're not in great shape, is I will skim, again, this is not something that maybe you do-it-yourselfer can do, I will skim coat the entire ceiling so everything is flat.
Shut up!
And
I will skim coat the entire ceiling. Fuck off. You lying motherfucker. Is that why my ceiling's all fucked up, damn it? You can end up on Judge Judy, bro. I have a recording of him saying he did it all but my eye. Fucked it all up.
Mais j'ai fait une liste, playlist avec 10 ou 13 chansons avec chansons.
A 3% 5-year fix to learn if you.
Why do I roll the droids? They nearly this. Sing with single cell. There's no long protracted battle. One day you just drop. You either recover from the crisis or you don't.
Stop. Southern Sun Destinations. Robert Gacone is the CEO of airline consultancy firm Air Travel. This is going to have a devastating effect.
It's the fact that the $2,000, even just the 3 days, test negative and go home, it's still $2,000. We're going to see some failures. We're going to see some bankruptcies. We're going to see some failures.
So who do you think is at risk of going bankrupt here?
I'm not going to say, does anybody hints at
the $2,000 away from going bankrupt. You can travel the world right now. You can sit at home eating pasta.
I got a couple of ideas, but don't forget, it's not necessarily name brands. It could be a regional airline. A regional airline in the Maritimes. It could be somebody, a regional airline flying in the Northern Prairies or Ontario airports. We could see
that's the problem.
regional
All this
airports in the
private
Maritimes or in Northern Prairies or Northern Ontario.
The riskiest transportation we have is
airlines and airports. It's also the travel agents that are really going to suffer here, right?
I think across the country, you got to see a round of travel agency failures beyond how
trouble about plane crashes in this country. The guy that was flying it that's splattered all over the ground. Yeah, there's no accountability.
They're hoping they could pick up some bookings for the sun destinations, at least something. I mean, they lost
47 people get burned alive in a train explosion.
Any other resort and sun destination packages is just
put the fucking driver in jail.
C'est pour nos sœurs et nos frères, nos mères et nos pères, nos tantes et nos enfants, et à tous ceux qui nous sont chers, à tous les barakim, à toute la jeunesse africaine, à tout l'amour qui nous unit malgré la haine qui nous divise, à tous les gars, il y a ces respects, géométrie fine, DJ or sur les platines, or les flammes et dans les bagues, le R, l'armure du sang.
Vivre au soleil, la pièce de Kenya est sur à échelle humaine, il est 9h58 et quelques poussières dans les prochaines minutes.
Where your customers are online, switch to SearchGate.
Streams of Truth, brought to you by Sportsnet Now.
Sports fans just want one thing, to watch the game in peace. So, go ahead.
Mornings at 11 as WiseTech Group presents.
You can do so by streaming sports on a tablet.
Ici Olivier Robillard-Lavaux, on a de la papa, Abba, la bamba.
Off your Walmart pharmacist. This message is brought to you by Pharmaceuticals.
Well, if you're making your way in from cottage country towards the city, Barrie, we have some partly cloudy skies, minus 17 degrees, feeling like minus 22 with the wind chill, quite chilly. As you make your way towards Bradford, partly cloudy, minus 20. Over in Richmond Hill, partly cloudy skies, minus 12 degrees. Brampton, sunny skies, minus 12 as well, but it feels like minus 16 with the wind chill. Right now in downtown Toronto, sunny skies, minus 8. 6:80 news time. There's the tone. It's 10 o'clock.
Let me ask you something.
One for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
This is Saturday, the 30th of January. Good morning. I'm Asher Roth.
And I'm Carl Garnish. Here are the top stories this hour.
If you are hoping to swap your snow boots for flip-flops anytime soon, think again.
Fuck off!
Starting tomorrow, all flights to particular
Again,
sun
your
destinations are canceled until the end of
type
April.
of pigmentation's moving around like it's the patterns of my
Moderna shipment will include 50,000 fewer doses of the vaccine than originally expected. How the latest setback has some in the medical community calling on the feds to ramp up domestic production.
In-class learning is set to start on February 10th for kids in the GTA. The province's top doctor says they still haven't figured out how to implement rapid testing for staff and students.
In the news, the Canada Borderline is working towards reopening this spring. We're taking a look at how other tourism spots are holding up.
3, 4 phone calls. What the fuck's wrong with them? They're all different fake numbers. Like different styles of fake numbers.
And coming up in business, optimistically cautious, the general sense for Canadians when it comes to their investments amidst the pandemic, according to a new survey from Scotiabank. Traffic and weather together on the lines with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Here's Colleen Donahue.
This report is brought to you by Monte Carlo Inns. It's been a really quiet morning out on the major routes. I mean, that's great for motorists. There's not a lot of volume on the major routes, which is also great. It means people are staying home. But we have actually our incident-free on all the major highways throughout the GTA.
No drive-bys between
QEW,
why are commercial vehicles shooting?
No construction either. So it's pretty much a picture-perfect Saturday morning commute. At Monte Carlo Inns, it's their goal to be your home away from home. Stay connected with their winter packages. Enter promo code WINTER at MonteCarloInns.com. With the forecast, Denise Andriachi. Well, pretty quiet weather today. We're not seeing too much in terms of activity out on the radar.
You buy the made in China sponges?
Satellite. Just some sunshine now at Pearson.
You buy the made in China ones instead of the made in Canada. It's a fucking year before you buy another pack, eh?
Downtown we're sitting at -8. The winds are really calm today, so it's all about the core base temperatures, which are below seasonal. But luckily through the afternoon with those calmer winds, it's not going to be too bad. You just need to bundle up and get outside. Some fresh winter air for this final weekend of January. We will see some snowfall for tomorrow, some localized flurries, which could be heavy at times, 2 to 5 centimeters expected. And we'll talk more about that this afternoon, and we'll be watching the radar closely tomorrow morning for you. Your guaranteed high today, -6.
680 News Time, 10:03. In another effort to deter Canadians from taking flights towards warmer destinations throughout this pandemic, the federal government is rolling out some tighter restrictions. It comes as the province is set to begin mandatory COVID-19 testing for those touching down at Pearson Airport starting on Monday. 680's Michelle Morton joins us live with more on the new measures being rolled out by local levels of government. Michelle.
Carl, now is just not the time to be flying. That from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Ottawa has announced starting tomorrow, the country's main airlines are suspending service to popular sun destinations. This is in an effort to reduce COVID-19 cases in light of new, more infectious variants of the virus. Travelers returning from abroad will quarantine in a designated hotel for 3 days at their own expense as they wait results of a COVID-19 test administered at the airport. Trudeau says his government has hired private security and is working with local police forces to enforce the quarantine measures.
We are increasing the number of calls we're making from the federal government. We're hiring private security firms to help with those follow-ups. And of course, there will be a particular focus given on returning travelers who've gone through the process of the 3-day test results when they come back.
Ontario is launching mandatory COVID-19 testing for international travelers come Monday. The testing order will come into effect at Toronto's Pearson Airport.
He's doing it on purpose. He's a drama teacher. You think he's really scrambling for words?
Says the province confirmed 51 positive cases of the new variant of COVID-19, and among them, 5 were identified through the government's pilot testing program at Pearson. Reporting live, I'm Michelle Morton.
Does that mean you're testing pilots? Or is this a pilot program for testing?
The federal and provincial governments.
Speaking of which, do pilots get tested? You never thought about it either, did you?
Robert Kakona says that's going to result in insolvencies.
Check them for what? Exactly, what the fuck?
We're going to see some failures. We're going to see some bankruptcies.
Oh no, we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
And those new restrictions come without any aid packages.
You're in line behind the stock sucker at Starbucks. That's his change. It's his money between your pockets change.
As the federal government continues to deal with a shortage of COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer, now Moderna is going its next shipment might be smaller than originally planned. We get more from 680's
CD on the internet for
production
free
lines
to put
around the globe are adapting
I
to
don't have
high
to put money
demand
in this
from
box
every
to hear it.
country.
Go ahead.
Minister says those challenges
that
have
would
resulted
interest
in a
everybody.
nearly
We learn more.
20% reduction in the next shipment of Moderna's vaccine. But yet, we're focused day in and day out on getting a vaccine to every Canadian who wants one by the end of September. Now, this is in addition to Pfizer announcing earlier this month the temporary cut in the amount of doses coming to Canada, citing challenges in restructuring its main facility.
You cocksucker!
Among those calling on the Trudeau government to divert some of its inventory.
When's
Speaking to the CBC, the professor with McMaster University says Canada should be prioritizing cities experiencing higher rates of hospitalizations and deaths. Dr. Alan Bernstein is with the National
Everybody got sick in 2019 and now you're all dead.
Coupled with the variants of the virus popping up across the globe, underscored the need for Canada to be prepared to roll out multiple vaccines.
We might be designing second, third generation vaccines and vaccinating the population for the next 2 or 3 years.
I'm Adam Steinberg.
Oh yeah, dude, an hour ago, dude.
This is 680 News. It's 10:06.
Whoever was saying that, who the doctor
Investigators continue to search for a light-colored vehicle believed to be involved in a double shooting that is.
I told you, it's that light-colored vehicle. Watch out for that one.
Rang out near a Summerhill subway station at around 8 o'clock last night.
Base
Officers arrived to a housing complex. A man was found lying
in a
dark
nearby
colored
laneway.
SUV.
He
I
was
like
found
colored
dead at the
vehicles.
scene
This is
while
what's
a
doing
woman
all
was
the
rushed to a
shootings in
nearby
Toronto for the
hospital
last 2
in
years.
critical condition. No suspect description has been released at this
It's
time.
Royce the
Anyone
Five
with
Guy.
information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
680 News Time, 10:07. The province's top doctor says he wants to have students in the GTA back in classrooms on February 10th.
The other doctor
But
was
at
saying
680's Michelle
they're going to
Matthew
have to start
reports
modifying the
reopening
vaccine
space
every year, like
With
influenza
GTA kids set
vaccines.
to return to school in less than 2 weeks,
it's gonna be
Ontario's
pointless.
top doctor says the
Hey,
province
fuck
still
this up.
hasn't figured out if rapid tests will be available for staff and students by the 10th or where they'll be administered.
And the tests, whether done in the school or around the school, because sometimes you want the testing done at a central location. We're looking at where it might be convenient for the parent to bring the child.
In response, Sam Hammond, president of Ontario's largest teachers union, writes on Twitter, here's an idea in schools. This week, the province allowed more than 100,000 students in 7 Ontario regions to return to school, prior to which Education Minister Stephen Lecce said the province has implemented the strictest measures in the country, including province-wide targeted asymptomatic testing. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Reason people.
The demolition of the Dominion Wheel and Foundry buildings in the West Don lands has been halted until next month. Justice David Corbett granted the motion last night to pause the province's work until a final review of its application takes place on February 26th. In his ruling, Corbett says the work should never have started, noting the Heritage Act requires public engagement before demolition can begin.
You put them in a machine and say, smash that down, and they go, okay, smack, no fucking double check nothing.
The group and the province can use the next month or so to resolve the dispute.
Oh, the province said it's okay, cool.
After keeping the gates locked up in 2020 due to the pandemic, Canada's Wonderland is targeting a May reopening as other GTA attractions struggle to find ways to survive. Shauna Hunt of City News is taking a look at how the tourism industry is preparing for another summer of uncertainty.
Oh, some of the big city attractions like the AGO, the ROM, and Ripley's
really hard on us.
We have to make money. Being open under some very strict guidelines before regions started locking down. The Toronto Zoo was open in some capacity over the summer and fall.
What's Ripley's going to do with all these sharks they stole?
Right now we're
How is it legal to bring a shark into the country? But I can't bring a rabbit out of the forest.
Offset the food bills and the nutritional needs of the animals are complex.
While Wonderland is not doing interviews on their plans, it has been working with the industry and government to create a COVID reopening plan that would make for a safe experience. Despite the fact the Minister of Heritage, Sport, Tourism, Culture tweeted out, it's far too early to speculate on how and when restrictions will be loosened to permit Canada's Wonderland to reopen. Shauna Hunt, City News. 680 News Time, 10:09.
Your news now on your radio, online, and on your smart speaker.
Play 680 News.
With the You Deserve a VW sales event, you get more for less. That's more control, more space, and definitely more of this. She's been doing that for hours.
What I find incredibly interesting is what some of these radio dramas found to be acceptable and what some didn't. There's no bars in Canada. No bars in Canada. It's all cafes. With the Northwest Mounted or the RCMP or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Everywhere he goes, the good people are trying to feed him and give him tea. And he'll drink the tea. But anywhere he goes, if he's making something to drink, it's coffee. All right? Because he's not British, motherfucker. But in the name of the Queen, he'll arrest your ass. Only once I heard them mention tobacco with a price. Let me get a drub of tobacco. Oh, 25 cents, please. I was like, what the fuck's a drub? And you got to remember, it's 1890. These guys are smoking out of, like, pipes made of rocks or something.
And when COVID-19 is behind us, visit
There's a lot of dog violence, but there's always an immediate violent response.
Thinking about senior living, but not sure
Some member of the public says, I'll do this and that to you.
We understand.
Has to say, but then I'll have to arrest
we
you.
recognize the importance of safety and connection. That's why we prioritize
Dog
the health and
violence like
well-being of our
crazy in
residents
this last
above all
few
else.
episodes.
Here you'll enjoy premium personalized care and lifestyle options. while your comfort and safety always come first.
Well, that is dominance.
We'd love to get to know
US
you and
gallons.
create an experience
Now, one
tailored
guy
to your
thinks
unique
the
needs.
measurement was
Learn
made
more at
in gallons to
amica.ca.
make the bucket or fill the bucket or any of the products to do with it. You still stand for 5 US gallons. How many cubic centimeters does that
This
plastic
report is
take
brought to you
up?
by Lamont Law, personal injury lawyers. Great drive out on the
Not
major
to be
routes. It's
confused
a
with
Saturday
Lamont,
morning
the
with
construction company.
no problems to report. So you're going to
Lamont
have a great
Jr.,
commute.
diamond dealer.
Just as always, though, if you drive past something and I'm not seeing it, feel free to give me a hands-free call at star 680 and let me know. But in the meantime, we have no accidents, no traffic,
That's an open
and no
invitation to
construction,
like,
so you should be
I
great
don't know
to go.
what.
If you've suffered a serious injury, your recovery starts at lamontlaw.ca. Lamont Law, resolving personal injury cases for over 40 years. With the forecast, here's Denise Andriacci. Mainly sunny, -10 at Pearson Airport. We're -8 downtown. The winds are calm, so not too much in terms of wind chill today. It's just the core temps are well below seasonal.
The core temps, like the core temperature of your body.
Tuesday, we're finishing off the month and this weekend with some cooler air. Today, a mix of sun and cloud.
It takes
Overnight
about an
tonight,
hour
a
to
few
get ready
flurries
to
in the
go downstairs
forecast. We've
and
got
come
some
back
lake
up 2
effect
seconds
expected
later.
for Sunday.
So
Flurries could be heavy at times through downtown, Mississauga, through Oakville as well. We're mainly looking at the heavier amounts, kind of closer to the lake, so south of the 401. We'll be watching the radar, 2 to 5 centimeters possible through Monday. Your guaranteed high today, -6.
680 News Time, 10:13. The city of Brampton is getting a little greener. Starting this spring, Nova Bus will be providing the first of 8 electric buses that will begin servicing residents across that city. The eco-friendly commute will be available on 2 routes, the Sandalwood and Mount Pleasant routes. The buses and en route charging stations are just the beginning of the e-bus pilot project in that city. So far, funding for the project is nearing $16 million. The city of Toronto has 60 e-buses of its own that are currently running across the city, while York Region also has a handful of its own. Coming up, your top stories, and we'll look ahead to tonight's Maple Leafs game. This is 680 News.
If you run on biodiesel, the assumption would be you could run them on regular diesel.
That's right. Ozempic comes in a pre-filled pen. And good news, Ozempic is covered by most private insurance plans and ODB, the Ontario Drug Benefit Program.
Sing and convert music. I'm not a big fan of the song, but that was a song. And now it's a drug advertisement. They can tell you about the drug or the condition. They can't tell you about both.
You might not know what the
So
future
we don't know what that's for. All we know is it comes with a single-use pen and it's painkiller of some type. So in Canada, we got painkillers. They don't know how they work. They literally don't know the pharmacology of how they work. Like GABA.
You wait for no one.
The vaccines come 5 or 6 in a bottle. Hey, put 1 in each fucking needle, stupid.
Accepted. Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This
I get the 1 nurse in my. You never see this shit in real life.
-8 degrees, feeling like -10.
The Jamaica woman, she's wearing a mask, which means she did not get the flu shot. Thank you.
Right now.
I do what she injected me with. The needle ends up in another nurse's hand, and she's not wearing a mask.
The federal government has asked Canada's airlines to suspend flights to Mexico and the Caribbean
allegedly,
starting tomorrow.
she stuck herself with the They come back like 2 hours later asking me if I want to do like a full screen HIV test. It's going to make it easier for them. Like if I test negative, she doesn't have to take drugs.
In hospital after a double shooting at a housing complex near Yonge and Summerhill. Police say shots rang out at around 8 last night. They're now looking for light-colored vehicles to flee the area. And Hudson's Bay has announced it's permanently laying off more than 600 of its
It
Canadian
takes 17 days of antiretroviral drugs, and I'm supposed to feel bad. Comrade, how things are going?
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Maria Saint-Aubin.
The Leafs and Oilers are getting set
Comrade.
for a matchup in 10 days. Toronto's taken 2 of the 3 meetings thus far and is currently riding a 4-game winning streak. Now,
Comrade.
at Edmonton Thursday, Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe says
We can't hear you, comrade. Try again on other line. Secure line next time.
Overall, they've taken the 3rd most in the NHL. But yesterday on Hockey Central, Brian Burke notes it's not just the Leafs.
See, the problem is once you answer,
officiating.
Can't see the phone number no more.
They're calling fouls that don't warrant the 2-minute penalty. And with power plays as lethal as a couple of them are right now, you're handing someone a basically a 40% chance of scoring a goal for a tap on the glove.
So let's see
It's a 7 p.m. puck drop in Edmonton. Listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC.
011880204108474. That's just my whole screen of numbers. Hold on.
Cash believed to be in the $50 million range. Arenado must also formally waive his no trade clause.
That doesn't add up anyway.
Check out sportsnet.ca. And coming up today in NWHL action at 3, the Boston Pride and Buffalo Buttes will begin a best-of-3 series to determine the fourth seed in the playoffs. While at 6, the Toronto Six will hit the ice for a battle with the Minnesota Whitecaps. Currently, the Whitecaps are the top seed, the Connecticut Whale are the second seed, and the Six are third. Beginning with tonight's 6 Whitecaps matchup, the top 3 seeds will face each other once over the next few days to determine final seeding for the semifinals. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
COVID-19 threatens all of us. Advanced Prayer continues to support frontline initiatives and reminds all of you to do our part to keep us safe. If you've been injured due to a slip and fall on icy sidewalks, careless drivers, or if your insurance company has failed to honor its obligations to you, Advanced Prayer offers skilled and compassionate free, no-obligation consultations by phone or video 24/7. Although you may be isolated, you are not alone.
I didn't know that cost money to set up. Somehow somebody's got to set that up.
We'll do the rest.
Visit us at
bblawyers.ca. This is the first sound you hear when we get hit by a snowstorm.
And the funny part is that all that might be based here in Toronto. There used to be a huge thing here.
On the DVP and the Gardner. When it snows, the city has over 5,600 kilometers of roads to salt and plow. And in order to get more people where they need to go safely, we clear expressways, major roads, and transit routes first, before moving on to residential streets. It's how we keep you moving, Toronto. Get to know the plan for snow at toronto.ca/snow.
Cold call
You're
telemarketing.
listening to All News Radio 680 News at 10:18. As the federal government ponders adding more right-wing groups to a federal terrorism blacklist, opponents of this process are urging officials to find more democratic and transparent means to address neo-fascism and white nationalism in this country.
Putting a spot on Canada's roster of terrorist entities can mean having assets seized and other tough penalties. This month's storming of Capitol Hill in Washington by right-wing extremists has spurred calls for Canada to add groups such as the Proud Boys to its terror list. The Ottawa-based International Civil Liberties Monitoring Group says the federal government has to counter these, but it stresses the terror list is deeply problematic. The listing process takes place in secret, and those making the list don't get a chance to address the accusations they face. Steve Henniger, the Canadian Press.
Oh, you gotta like
680 News Time, 10:19. A provincial health expert has some good news for those who are concerned that the current COVID-19 vaccines will not work on mutations of the virus. Eric O'Brien of City News reports.
Dr. Doug Campbell, a member of Ontario's Science Advisory Table, says that because of how new both COVID-19 and the vaccines are, even with the mutation, the vaccine should still be very efficient.
I think the starting point, too, is that we've got a couple vaccines that are just out of the ballpark good. You know, 98 to 95%.
Just out the ballpark.
That's just amazing. So, you know, we could have some erosion and we still have a really good vaccine.
Manufacturers won't have any choice but to modify their vaccines at some point, just like others do with the annual flu variants. But he says he's hopeful that the first versions of the vaccine will be efficient enough to get everyone vaccinated. He also added that vaccine manufacturers are already looking at ways of modifying and boosting their own vaccines in order to quickly respond to mutations. I'm Eric O'Brien.
Change the use and manufacturers to
we will check the roads and your extended forecast. 680 News Time, 10:20.
You want to earn PC Optimal points faster on fuel? But luckily, Point Stays is on now. And we've got more points everywhere, including at Esso and mobile
local doctor gives an opinion on the vaccine idea story. The third one, or the last one, I guess,
Earn points faster
says they're going to have to come up with a new one every year just like influenza. By the way, what happened to influenza? Oh, 17 cases this year instead of 700 hospitalized. 17 compared to 700 because nobody's getting into the single hospital. It's just funny, all these idiots think that they're gonna scare people or somehow get what they want. They're getting laugh at it, bothering people. They end up getting sick, and it's not necessarily with COVID. These idiots are dropping dead all over the place. You call 911 because your buddy overdosed, and it takes you 2 hours to get here because your dumbasses don't fucking listen.
Plus the guaranteed $1 million prize.
680 News Time, 10:21. Time for
I just always
traffic and
pretend
weather
I'm
together
going to
on
go
the
rescue
lines.
some kid's grandmother or something.
This report is brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. Still problem-free on all the major routes throughout the GTA. No collisions, no construction, no stalled vehicles, no delays, best of all. And
they're sitting there doing nothing, and then they started talking to me.
It's pretty much the picture-perfect drive. If you've been injured, Diamond and Diamond is in your corner. See why so many clients ever further
You're not
friends and
letting me,
family
you let me
back to
finish.
Diamond and Diamond. Call 1-800-567-HURT for your free
My charter
consultation.
rights. Are they in
With the
France?
forecast, here's
Let's
Denise
go
and
to
Riachi.
France. Yeah, it's not the charter then,
But it is
stupid.
quiet in terms of active weather today. But that's not going to be the case tomorrow, so you may want to run those
Well,
areas
the
while
kids
the
in this
roads are
country
nice
can
and
tell you
dry
that's
and
not the
quiet
charter. There's
for
no
those
French
essential
side
goods,
there.
because
There's never
tomorrow
a
we're
French
talking
side.
about some lake effect
Yeah,
bands coming
boxes
off of
English
Lake
and French.
Ontario.
Charter's
It mainly
English and
looks
French.
like from the city,
This
well, from
costs official
Scarborough
notebook
in the
English and
downtown
French.
core westwards, in terms of some of those
Official
lake
government
effect bands. We
service.
may see some
Or
flurries through
it's
Durham,
a
but that's
subcontractor
not where
to a
we're likely
private
to
corporation.
accumulate
It's
the
one or the other.
2 to 5 centimeters that we're
We're not
expecting
required
for
to
other
provide
parts of the
everything in both
GTA.
languages.
So tomorrow, kind of some hit or miss active weather, and Monday the same. It's sort of hit or miss, but we will see some activity. Temperatures cold for a few more days, and then by Tuesday we're back to seasonal -2.
We will
Your
see
guaranteed
some
high
activity.
today,
It's going to storm like a bastard.
across Canada,
But if it don't, you'll be
35,000
better.
people are homeless each
Good
night.
looking out.
Many don't have access to doctors or the health care they need. That's
There's an
something we're
Ebola
helping to
refugee
change.
camp with 50,000 people in it and 6 doctors, miss. I don't give a fuck about your $1 million
Our
MRI
mobile
machine.
health clinics bring compassionate care to the streets of 13 communities across Canada, including here in the GTA. Learn more about our mobile health
Fancy
clinics.
MRI, couldn't figure out I had sickle cell. Somebody wrote cannabis wrong. They misspell things on official medical reports.
No more
Google thinks
Canadian
I'm
flights
stupid
to
because I'm
Mexico
typing
or
things
the
in Germany.
Caribbean starting tomorrow. That's
Oh,
just one of several new travel
Brought to you,
restrictions that are
technicians are
coming into
stupid.
effect
You're
for both
a
federal
cataplexy
and
with a pen.
provincial
Question mark.
government
Cataplexy.
in the
Question
coming
mark.
days.
What's
More
that?
trouble
Another
on the
undefined.
vaccine front with
Condition.
another developer that is announcing a shortfall in its next Canadian shipment. Our Adam Steinberg will have all of the details on that.
Is Germany still buying our weed?
This just in
Two
from
tow trucks.
Health Minister Christine Elliott, who says Ontario is confirming 2,063 new cases of COVID-19.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna. I didn't say it.
Cases are in Toronto, 379 in Peel, 178 in York
No, I
Region.
swear, I knew it was going to be over 2,000 today. I knew this under 2,000 thing wasn't going to last.
The details on that and
No,
more.
they're
coming up at
playing with the
10:30.
numbers or something. The number of tasks, something. They're doing something.
Subscribe to 680 News.
There's people that they're turning people away from vaccines. Do you think they're not turning people away from tests? They're turning people away from tests before. That was on the news before.
Well, the pandemic has forced the
There are people
producers
going,
of a
fuck it, I'm
talent
just
search
staying
show
on.
to
And
rethink
now
its
nobody
audition
else can get
process.
through it. Let's want to get tested. They didn't do nothing for us, no vaccine and no medicine. They killed that Chinese doctor that discovered this shit.
Idol returning to ABC
Calm down,
this
Edith.
Valentine's Day. Now, with the ongoing
Calm
pandemic,
down,
host Ryan
Edith.
Seacrest told us all the auditions were held in controlled bubbles.
And then our plan in the spring is to be back in the studio. I don't know if I'm an audience or not, but we should be back on the big stage. That's exciting.
Disney is the parent company.
You know, they did have the real apple juice.
ABC News. Well, ABC
I
News.
got 6 kids.
And Saturday Night Live returns tonight after a short hiatus with an exciting lineup over the next 3 episodes. John Krasinski, yes, Jim Halpert himself will be hosting tonight along with musical guest Machine Gun Kelly. Next week, Dan.
You better say Aykroyd, motherfucker. Saturday Night Live is the worst show in the world. If you've seen one episode of SCTV, you'll never watch Saturday Night Live. It's horrible. It's horrible. In Living Color. What else is there?
Account can help. For a limited time, earn 1.5% interest to help grow your TFSA or RRSP faster. So you can accelerate towards
Yes, there's a bank up there that claims I got 70 cents in a TFSA. I'm like, no, I don't. I guess you do. No, I don't. They spend $1 every so often to send me a bank statement for 70 cents. I'm like, this is why I don't want to bank with you. This right here is why I don't want to bank with you.
Redefining coffee.
Favor a new morning ritual.
Guys can still send me emails with my name in it.
Technology means preparing your
Look how
perfect
dead
cup of
everybody would have
coffee.
told me, yeah, this is legit. He's got an account with this bank, and that means he's got an agreement with them, and that's why they have this information. I don't know how many fucking times they've sent shit in the
Virtual. Morning coffee redefined.
You ever find out somebody's been mailing you shit for 6 years to the wrong address?
680 News time 1026. Now the 680 News Business Report.
I'm Stuart McGinn. Scotiabank is out with its latest retail sentiment report.
On the language lesson. On the language lesson. In China, you're expected to just pay the bill without one being sent to you. Really? You have to pay it.
70% of investors are uncertain how to treat the market, and most Canadians are worried they might not be saving enough for retirement. Darcy McDonald, Scotiabank's Senior Vice President of Day-to-Day Banking, Payments, and Investments.
The main takeaway is that Canadians are feeling optimistic about their investments and their financial future, but they remain cautious.
Alright, am I supposed to reset this every day, or should I just let it count
in many ways and create lots of uncertainty. So the general sense of most Canadians
163 calories. It's only 8 calories in a hot dog.
But while treading water, there's a confidence boost when it comes to the markets and the future outlook led by the beginning of the country's pandemic recovery and rollout of vaccines.
The majority of Canadians are feeling more hopeful and more optimistic about the financial market, especially with the approval of the vaccine. Almost a quarter of Canadians are feeling quite bullish about stepping back into the market.
The stock market
Overwhelmingly many Canadians still remain on the sidelines. There's a general sense of optimism, but I think Canadians are choosing largely to tread water and sort of stay the course near term.
McDonald says this survey revealed near term is the main priority for many Canadians, which isn't something we usually see.
What was surprising is that only a third of Canadians plan on contributing to RSP in 2021.
Tried installing it on the Android box.
Who are going to make a registered investment are doing so to their TFSA, which signals that they're more concerned with the shorter term than the longer term.
Jesus Christ.
Liquidity and optionality, and it's just a finding or an insight we haven't seen in quite a while.
That's Darcy McDonald, the Senior Vice President of Day-to-Day Banking, Payments, and Investments at Scotiabank. And at the Business Center, I'm Stuart McGinn.
Here at Freshco, the savings just don't stop thanks to our big birthday bargains. So until Wednesday, fresh skinless chicken breasts are just $3 a pound. That's half off. Your birthday, your bargains. Freshco, lowering food prices. See flyer or freshco.com for details.
Everybody's looking for a change right now, dreaming of being able to pay for upgrades or renovations without taking on that financial burden. Just think about it. We renovated 3 years ago, but it still feels like there's a million things I'd like to do today. A Flexi line by Capital Direct allows you to manage your resources more effectively. Whether you could use $50,000 or $1.5 million, that cash is available to you. Call Capital Direct today.
I need a duffel bag of either 500,000 in hundreds or 100,000 in fives. Don't fucking confuse this thing.
680 News.
And checking our weather specialist Denise Andriachi's latest forecast, we're expecting a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon. Your 680 guaranteed high is -6 degrees. Tonight, very chilly. It's going to drop down to -12, wind chill factor of -20 with a chance of some flurries. And then tomorrow, we'll get flurries.
Jesus.
5 centimeters or more are expected, and they could be heavy at times, so prepare for some tougher driving conditions. The high will be around -5 degrees. Right now in downtown Toronto, we have lots of sunshine. It's -6, the wind making it feel like -8. Mike Leach is the morning show editor. Zahir Hashimi joins us at the digital desk. Amber LeBlanc is our news director. At the Double Tones, it's 10:30.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
This is Saturday, January 30th. Good morning, I'm Carl Garnish.
And I'm Asher Roth. Here's what's making news right now.
January? Jesus Christ.
If you're dreaming of escaping this cold weather, you're out of luck. Starting tomorrow, all flights to popular sun destinations are canceled.
Ontario is reporting a slight increase in new COVID-19 cases over the last 24 hours, back above the 2,000 mark.
It's going to say, oh, but 664 of them are from
plan. More on the latest delay from Moderna and why some are now calling for a redistribution of doses.
A man is dead, a woman fighting for her life in hospital following a shooting in the Summerhill neighborhood near Yonge and St. Clair.
It's a busy day in the NHL with 12 games on the schedule.
Oh, although
Meanwhile,
that is a walk over here. You can walk this.
Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, a Toronto restaurant completely changes its business model in an effort to survive the COVID-19 pandemic.
680 News Time, 10:31. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Watching the Saturday Drive, here's Carlene Donahue.
This report is brought to you by IA Private Wealth. Really great drive out on the major routes. It's kind of been like that for the last couple of weekends with the stay-at-home order. Lots of people staying home because volume is at a pretty much all-time low, which is great. If you're heading out anywhere for essential reasons,